podcast where you guys aren't rambling over and over.
They're 149, you know?
Dude, shut up, okay? Okay.
Nah, I think it's better when we start rambling about random shit, because then it starts people to like. What the hell are they talking about?
It makes it easy to start talking, but all right.
It's showing them that we're normal people, you know.
I mean, we're trying to be somewhat professional about this, but hello everybody, welcome to the newest episode of Shortinnumbers podcast. As you can see, I don't know if they've noticed yet, but we have a beautiful new title or a new layout here, where I'm testing out something new. I don't know if they've seen it yet. Ah, shit! I forgot to put something. Oh fuck! Shit.
Already fucking whoa! What are we doing here?
Oh, this is what we're missing. Boom! Welcome everybody to a new episode. Today
Illuminati.
We have a little. Today is going to be an interesting podcast because we've all prepared for this one. We did some homework. We did a little bit of homework, even though like two of us aren't in school right now. But before we get into that, let's just see who we have here. We have my main man, my best man, Israel, or the Grizz. Say hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
What's going
sir.
on? What's going on?
And we got some guy we picked up at McDonald's. What was your name?
It's Burger King, bro.
It was Burger King. His name is Bartholomew. EZX Knock.
Easy, Bartholomew. You can catch me on Pornhub. Yeah.
Follow him on ICJ Fish SoundCloud. Before we get into it, how y'all doing? How was y'all's weeks? Or how's it been since the last podcast?
It's been stressful, man. We were short at work. I wanted to cry.
Okay, and Frank, stop trying to overdo it.
Nah, I'm just playing. No, it was good. You know, I had a good Easter or whatever. Got to spend time with the familia. Yeah, had a lot of food. That was pretty badass. Other than that, about it.
Oh yeah, it was Easter. I totally forgot it was Easter.
Wow.
Easter and 420 the same weekend.
Easter.
Oh, dude.
Didn't last year Easter fall on 420?
I think so. And people
Maybe.
were putting like nugs in eggs and gave it to kids.
Nice, dude. Fucking love when that happens. No, I was supposed to be at work, but I was sick and I couldn't go into work. And I didn't even know it was fucking Easter. Hopefully I'll get fired.
Yeah, honestly, I forgot it was Easter too. I was like, what
I
the?
was supposed to go to work, but then I realized I don't work. So I was like,
nice, dude.
Did
Still live with mommy?
no.
You know he
She's
does.
My mama. She's my bust down bitch.
Oh my god.
Whoa.
Love you, mom. She's not home.
Your mom hates you. Your mom doesn't even love you.
Honestly, Ernesto, you know the story that she told us before you came to this world?
Fucking hate this Jew. Oh shit. Wait, no.
Oh. Cut the stream.
No, I didn't mean.
I fell off my chair.
Already fucking up.
I fell off my chair. Fuck you.
You're already messing up, man. Come on.
Hey
I
man.
love this shit.
Nice.
Anyways, awkward silence. Yeah, all right, cool beans. I guess that's what's going on here. All
Sadly
right, but anyways,
today,
Ernesto, what about you?
No, it doesn't matter. Sadly today, there's only 3 of us here today.
So we
our
short in numbers today.
We're short in numbers today. Our number 4, our 4th leg for our chair is gone today. Sadly, couldn't make it. He said he tried to watch the podcast, but I don't know if he is doing it. If you are, Sammy, we love you. Best wishes to you. Wish you were here, man. Sadly,
sorry about what happened.
Sadly, we are continuing with the conspiracy topic, but we could always have a second parter. Because it was actually really fun looking for a conspiracy to do. And if anything, before we get into it, let's just say what you guys just want to go out and say what we're doing or what conspiracy we're going to be talking about today?
All right.
Go ahead, Izzy. What's your conspiracy about?
All right, so today I did a little bit of research over the weekend and the week before. I'm gonna be talking about the I forget the name, the Baracha lady, or the Baracha lady.
Babushka.
Well,
It's called
the
Babushka.
Babushka lady. There you go. I can't pronounce
Honestly.
the name because she's Russian. You know what I'm saying?
That's like,
But
Who cares if she's
anyway,
trying to
so
go
yeah.
fast? You can still pronounce the name.
Well, anyways, we're gonna be talking about her once we get to my theory. But yeah, that's a little teaser right now.
Just flick the bean. Just flick the bean. Let me turn down my notification.
just turn it off.
All right.
What about you, Ernesto? What are you gonna be talking about?
I've been working on this theory for the past 18 years of my life,
Oof.
even in the womb.
Oof.
My theory is about the Bohemian Grove. It's gonna be interesting. I'll tell you guys that. It's honestly kind of a shocker, and I feel like it's just full of bullshit.
Full of bullshit. Oh shit. All right.
But-
All right.
We'll get to that later.
Oh, big oofs. And today, my conspiracy that I looked into and did some note taking on. I told you guys that I was doing the Denver Airport International theory,
Mm-hmm.
but I lied.
What?
Mine is actually if we're living in a simulation. I threw you guys off track. Y'all didn't see that coming.
What the?
Yeah, you hear those reactions? They're going crazy. Damn it! I tried to do a sound effect like Israel, but my volume was down.
Stupid. Epic fucking fail, man.
Hold on, let me
Cut
do it
the
again.
stream.
Let me do it again.
Nah,
I'm doing the
it's too late.
simulation
It's too late.
theory.
You might as well. Oh my god.
Yeah, I got sound effects too.
Yes, dude.
On solo dice.
What? Hey man, is God even real? That's the real question. Is God even real?
If God was real, I wouldn't find hair in my chicken nuggets.
Ouch.
See, that's when you go back
Well,
to McDonald's and
You know
be
what
like,
JID
"Yo,
always
give me that
says? Wash.
Get off my dick.
Wash.
Get off my dick.
No, shut up. All right. Should we just jump into it, or what do you guys want to
Yeah,
talk
go
about
for it.
before we go? Okay.
Go for it.
So I'm doing that. We're in a simulation. We're living in a simulation, right? And my theory, the way I focused it on war, the way I saw the theory is. First, let me explain what it is. It's pretty easy to understand what it is by the title, that we're living in a simulation. That everything we see in the world isn't real. We're in a computer. We're test subjects. We're being run in a program. That's what the simulation theory is. But the way I like to see it is either only one of us is really being tested. Like one of us is the focus on it. Like it could be you, Izzy, or it could be you, Ernesto, and the rest of us are just programs running on a script. Like we're all, you're being tested for some reason. I don't know what's important about you, if it has happened or hasn't happened yet, right? Or that we're all in a simulation and none of us are really real. We're just programs. We're NPCs in this fake world, right? And this simulation theory there's three topics basically. Number one is the human species is very likely to go extinct before reaching a post-human stage, right? So what that means is, one, if we're not living in a simulation, then before we can ever run a simulation, like us being able to read technology that would let us run a real life simulation in a computer, before we could even do that, we're to go extinct. We're just going to finish ourselves off. Or number two, any post-human civilization is extremely unlikely to run a significant number of simulations of the evolutionary history or variations of it, right? Basically saying we're probably never going to reach this outcome of being able to run a simulation of the whole universe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or three, we are most likely certainly living in a computer simulation as we speak. So one, if number one is true, if it's true, then we will most likely essentially go extinct before reaching a post-human society. So we're gonna die before we can even ever go to that. If number one is true, and number one is true, then there's must be a strong convergence among the courses of advanced civilizations, basically saying that if in the future we'll most likely reach this in our future, if we're not in a simulation right now, that in our distant future we will be able to run this. Because if you look at technology has been advancing really fucking fast. Like, for example, in the video game genre, right? About 40 years ago, I think it was about 40 years ago, we had the very first ever video game, which was Pong. And I'm pretty sure you've all heard of Pong, right?
Oh yeah.
That was that was the first video game ever created. And look at 40 years later, we have like some of the most realistic games out there. Like, I think the most realistic game we have out right now is Rust, I think it is. Like,
Yeah.
from what I've heard and what I've seen from it, it's probably one of the most realistic games out there, and it's pretty close to life. If it was filled with NPCs, but I don't think it is. I think it's just more players. So we're already, I believe that in a few decades, right? We're gonna come to, our technology is gonna become strong enough to where we could run real life simulations of people or of the universe. Okay.
Mhm.
But the one thing that you were thinking is, why, if we're gonna run this, we're gonna need a really strong computer, right? And in the theory, it talks about how much power we'll need, a computer will actually need to run a simulation, and it has to be like a shit ton of power, like strong enough for a quantum computer, to run. And I don't know if you guys know that a quantum computer is being worked on at this very moment. Scientists are trying to create the very first quantum computer, and when that is complete, we can technically run a real life simulation in a computer of our world. But then again, the way I saw it was this, right? If one of us is the subject, then the rest of us are like the NPCs in this world, right? So say this, Ernesto. Right now you're in your room, right, next to your computer. If you're in a simulation, in the way you're thinking of it right now is that the whole world is being active right now. There's people outside your house walking, talking, breathing, being killed, living life, having sex, having fun, going to parties, right? But it might not be that way. Because right now, you're just in your room. The computer could just be programmed to run or render your room. And everything outside hasn't been rendered yet. You'll just hear about it without it actually happening. So a good example is, say you invite your friend over, right? While you're in your house, you're gonna invite your friend over, and what happens if this wasn't a computer simulation? They'll get out of there, they'll get dressed, they'll get in their car, they'll drive to your house, knock on your door, and that's their path, right? But if this was like, if we're in a simulation, the way it would go is, you tell your friend to come over, and then they're at your house. You never saw the process happen. You just told them to come over, time passed, and they're at your house. You don't really know if they actually drove all the way over here. And if you were like, alright, take a picture that you're coming over here, the computer could have just rendered a picture of them driving and just send it to you. The best way to make you think like you're not in a simulation, because then it would break it, right? And there's a good argument for this. Like, if we weren't in a simulation, why isn't there life in space? Because if space is old, we're like, it's not old, but it's not new too, if that makes sense. The space and reality has existed for billions of years, but yet we're still in the beginning of it. But with all the time that's passed, why aren't there any other human or other alien civilizations out there in space? Right? Because if time, like, there's been enough time for there to be other civilizations out there, and why haven't we seen it? Right? It's not that there isn't any, is that we're in a simulation already that they've created. They've created a simulation where they could run us in the computer, but it's not strong enough to run all of the universe, like every single atom, every single star, every single planet. So they focus on Earth, and that's why we don't see any other aliens, right? And a good way for them to trick us, like make us not think that it's a simulation just because we don't see other civilizations, is saying putting something in our mind already, saying, well, there is aliens, just the government is hiding it. And that's a good way to throw us off track. Like, there are aliens, but the government isn't showing us. And that could be a good way to trick us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what was that?
How high are you? No, continue.
Well, I'm not high.
What did you smoke before you got here, man?
No, I'm telling you what I found in my research.
Bro, this is a drug-free podcast, all right?
You know, man, I don't like being yelled to.
I'm messing with you.
Right?
Go ahead.
And another thing you can say about this theory is consciousness, right? We have consciousness, and we think, therefore, what was the quote? I think, therefore I am? Is that how it goes? Or does anybody know how the quote goes? I think, therefore I am.
I think the one we're talking about is I am what I eat.
No, shut up.
Stupid.
Let me read some notes right here. So they talk about if we'll be able to come up with like consciousness, right? And this is like some of the facts I found, that the maximum human sensory bandwidth for our brain, it's 10^8 bits per second. And the way we're talking about it in the articles and the papers I was reading is that that's not a lot. If we had a quantum computer, that could easily be run, right? Simulating all the sensory events incurred in our hold on. I'm dyslexic. Hold on.
Illiterate.
Shut up. That we don't need that much bandwidth power to run our consciousness. All we have to do is process the required processing power required to simulate the central nervous system as an estimate of the total. Basically, all it's saying is what I was telling Ernesto, that the computer would only need to process what is around us, not everything around the world. Because when you look at your monitor, right, in your brain, inside your monitor is like the wires, the chips, the lights that make your TV work or your monitor work, right? But if it was an actual computer or in a simulation, we just have to think that that's what's inside our monitor. But while we touch it, it's just a screen and there's nothing actually inside it until you actually open it, right? You know what I mean?
No,
Yes.
bro. It sounds like you on crack and you did like 5 lines and then you went ahead and were like, yo guys, so today we're going to be
What?
talking about a simulation that happens in my life.
You deadass remind me of a friend. Every time she gets stoned or drunk, the first thing she tells me is, I think we're in a simulation.
Like that.
No, I'm just telling you what I found in my notes that I have. Fuck you,
Okay.
Eggman.
Stumble is probably high.
If we're gonna be honest, man,
You wanna
he
get
probably
to-
took like 5 edibles and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna talk about a simulation."
You know what? I don't like being bullied.
Now
Your
go
whole-
ahead, continue.
Your whole research was taking drugs.
Honestly, I think I did like 5 streams before taking this.
Straight up, gonna be honest.
All right.
I mean,
okay. What do you guys think so far? Like, is there any questions that like I don't understand what you're saying here, or anything I need to clarify?
What is it? Going back to the part where you said like, you can call your friend, tell him to come over, and then they could just render a picture, and he's at your house. What if you tell your friend to record his whole thing coming to your house?
From his phone?
Phone, camera, anything.
Then that could easily be run, because then it's just running 2 people. It's running your consciousnness, and then just a phone screen of their way there. Like, it's just gonna render what's in front of the camera, and not the whole world.
Right. What if I tell him come to my house, but then I go with him to go back to his house and came back to my house?
Here, let me read you this quote right here.
Got him. Couldn't even answer the question.
No, I'm like this quote I have. This quote I have literally answers what you're saying. In order to get a realistic simulation of the human experience, much less is needed. Only whatever is required to ensure that the simulate humans interacting in a normal human way with their simulated environments don't just make sure they don't notice any irregularities. So basically saying if what you need, saying so we just said, hey, record this way there, record this way back, that could easily be rendered if that's all you want, just off of a camera. It's not going to be that hard to trick you. You know, because you're pretty stupid, Ernesto.
Well, fuck you. You know what?
Some evidence that scientists have come up with is they were doing this experiment when they shot atoms through a hole. They shot atoms through a hole, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were testing how the shapes that it would do, and it was different, and the patterns were off, because the experiment wasn't going how it was supposed to go, and they noticed that when they weren't paying attention to the atoms that were shot through the hole, the atoms were shot through the hole, and they just stuck there, but because no one was paying attention to it. But once the scientists started looking again, then the atoms started to move, saying that the atoms weren't being rendered when they weren't being paid attention to, only when it realized that they were looking at the atoms. So that could have been a glitch in real life. Like there's a glitch in the Matrix. So if we're not paying attention to something. Wait, hold on. What is Henry? Fuck you, Henry.
You just read it now. I said it.
I read that thing a long time ago.
Yeah,
I'm paying attention to my notes. I'm not looking at the chat.
Oh,
Fuck.
okay.
Like, that's a real life experiment that happened, and if there's a way for you to be able to reasonably explain that of why atoms do that, if you're not paying attention to them, they won't move. But once you are, they'll move. They don't know why it does that. It doesn't it defies the laws of physics. And if there's a way for you to explain why that happens, they were saying there is a reward for it. There's a Nobel Peace Prize if you're able to come up with the reasons for that to happen, because it defies logic itself, which that even makes it even scarier, because there's one proof that we are living in a simulation. Because like what I was saying, Ernesto, like it's processing stuff that you need to look at just so it tells you that you're living in a real life. But with these atoms, once they weren't being paid attention to, they weren't moving, they weren't working. Until they saw that we were actually paying attention, they started to move again. Like, there's no way to explain that.
Or can it be that it's just our brains trying to process what we want to see instead of what actually is happening?
Well, that would make sense if it was one scientist.
Mm-hmm. Or can it be that we're all just basically walking supercomputers?
That's likely, because if we are living in this... Okay, do you guys know who Neil deGrasse Tyson is?
No, I do not know who that is.
My dad.
You don't know? What? Neil deGrasse Tyson is probably one of the smartest persons we have right now. I have him up on the screen right now. This guy. One of the smartest person that's alive right now. And he was telling how if we are in a simulation, then the ones running our simulations, are also in a simulation. Because, well, if we're in a simulation right now, our technology is advancing fast enough to where in a few decades... sorry, I burped. In a few decades, we'll be able to run our own simulations, because that's the way our technology is advancing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll be running a simulation. And then the people in our simulation will advance through our history, because we're going to be simulating our history but farther back. So we'll be in the future, and then we'll start to simulate like a specific era, and then it'll keep moving through time to the point where they can start running their own simulation. And at one point in history, at one point in life, it'll be a simulation inside a simulation inside a simulation. And if you're thinking about it in that way, the likely chances, Neil deGrasse Tyson said, the likeliness of us being in a simulation, the smartest man on the fucking planet right now says that there's a 50-50 chance that we're living in a simulation right now. And if that doesn't make you think, I don't know what the fuck will. Because this is the smartest fucking dude behind Stephen Hawking. Well, now that he's dead, he is the smartest person alive.
Stephen Hawking's died though, right?
Yeah, and now that he's dead, Neil deGrasse Tyson is the smartest person alive right now, as we speak.
Right. So, if you want to think, let me ask you a question.
No, let me finish off my thing. Not only does Neil deGrasse Tyson think about that this is true, another smart man, Elon Musk, the Muskiest man, the meme lord Elon Musk, also believes that we are in a human simulation. He said there was...
Y'all just smoking pot.
There's a 1 in a million chance that we are in a simulation. Like, these are some of the smartest people in the world who are way that, to put it in layman's terms, they're woke AF. They're more woke than we are, and they believe that there's a likely chance that we truly are in a simulation. Like, the smartest people on our planet believe that we are in a we are in a computer simulated world. Like, wake up, it's 2019, wake up, you sheeple.
You about to say 2013?
But what were you gonna say? What were you gonna say, Ernesto?
Alright. This has nothing to do with my topic. It's just a random question. What if animals domesticated us, or did we domesticate animals? Because animals probably domesticated us, so we don't have to eat them like cows and chickens.
What do you mean?
Our dogs or cats are pets. Do you think they domesticated us so we don't have to eat them?
Dogs? Well, that doesn't have anything to do with my theory. I don't know what the fuck you're asking this.
Because of the question that Icy asked. What if animals controlled everything and we think we do?
Well, if that's true, then animals are pretty fucking stupid, because if they controlled everything, why would they allow us to inbreed them to the point where they're a fucking chihuahua, where back then they were these primal animals? Like, that would be fucking stupid. That's like saying, hey, Ernesto, shoot me in my fucking spine so I can become disabled, and I'm controlling you. You're stupid, Icy, like 10-17. Stay woke.
You are
woke.
controlling me because you're telling me to do it and I listen.
I know, because you're a bitch.
Ain't wrong though.
That's it. You're out of pocket.
Ah, shit. Alright, later, guys.
I mean, what I think about it though is like, I mean, just by the stuff you already told us, I mean, I'm still like a little confused on it. Like,
all right, well, what part? Let me clear it up for you. Go ahead.
Okay, like the whole friend thing, right? Like explain that a little bit more, because you're like, okay, if I were to tell you to come over, and I don't see the process of you coming over, then that's like, and you just like come to my house out of nowhere. Then like you're saying that's a simulation. But if I were to see like you coming over, like you getting ready, driving over here and all that stuff, then that's real life.
No. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I was just trying to explain it from real life and a computer sense. Like,
so nothing's real.
Yeah, basically that's what they're trying to say, that nothing in our life is real because we're already in a simulation. There's no way to say we're not in a simulation. There's only a way to say that we aren't in real life.
So basically, it's a giant video game.
Yeah.
And
that you have no idea is by killing yourself.
The only way to win is by finding out if we're in a simulation or not.
And then you're fucked, because then you can't do anything.
We die. And a few weeks later, we die because we won the game. That's why Stephen Hawking died. He won the game.
They disabled him. He
All
was the
makes sense,
animal.
though. They crippled him because he was too smart. He got there way too quick. See?
Do you understand?
Yeah, and they're making Elon Musk stupid because he was smart and now he became a meme lord. He was there. He was almost there.
What do you mean, made him stupid? He's still the smartest person alive.
He's still a meme lord.
What's wrong with that? Nothing wrong with memes.
That's the people up in the sky controlling us in a simulation, crippling him because he was about to win. They don't want winners. You know what I'm saying?
Here. Do you have any other questions, Izzy? Or do you guys want me to explain a little bit more? I could read off all my notes I have, because I don't know how to like put them in here without them being out of place. Like, let me just read like what are the notes I have. One thing that later generations might do with their super powerful computers is run detailed simulations of their forebears or of people like their forebears, because their computers would be so powerful they could run a great many such simulations. That's one of the notes I had. Another one is ours do not belong like our simulations do not belong to the original race, but rather to people simulated by the advanced descendants of an original race, saying that we're not being run by the real world. We're being run by another simulation that's being controlled by another simulation.
Mm-hmm.
What? Okay, another one is would it be rational to think that we are likely among the simulated minds rather than among the original biological ones? Saying that it's most likely that we're being simulated and we're not part of the original ones, because of what Neil deGrasse Tyson said. There's a 50-50 chance because there would be so many simulations being run already. And another one is our current state of technological development. We have neither significant power hardware nor requiristic software to create a conscious mind in a computer, but persuasive arguments have given to the effect that if technology continues undebated, then the shortcomings will eventually be overcome. Some authors argue that this stage may only be a few decades away. Basically, what I was saying before, that in a few decades we'll be able to run a simulation of our own. And then see what?
See, but like, how would that work? How would we be able to like run our own simulations, knowing we're already in a simulation? That's the part where it doesn't make sense.
How?
Because if we're already in a simulation, like you're saying,
yeah,
then how are we in the future going to be able to run our own simulations for like other people and stuff?
Because if we're in a simulation, you know what a simulation is in the first.
Yeah. It's like
okay.
fancy.
No, what? What? Okay, what's a definition of simulation? It's an imitation of a situation or process. So basically, they're just simulating their ancestors, or the forebears, the people that came before them. So this could be in the future, like in the year 3000. And they want to simulate what life in the 2000s was like, right?
Mm-hmm.
So eventually, as they keep simulating their past, they'll get to a point where, right now, if we're in a simulation, we're in 2019, right? If we're in 2019, and, for example, we'll be able to run a simulation in the year 3000, we're only 908 years away. No, 981 years away. So in 981 years from now, we'll be able to run simulations of our own. And then we can start running simulations inside our simulation.
Oh, what the hell?
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's crazy. What the hell?
So he's saying that it's most likely that we're already in a simulation, because of the chances of us being in one is 50-50.
Yeah. And if we're not, then what about that?
If we're not, then we'll be the first civilization to start the chain. Like, if you believe that we're not in a simulation, that's great, because that means we are individuals. We have our own free will.
Yeah.
But if we are in a simulation, if we're not in a simulation, then there's gonna be a point in our life, in our future, where we will simulate reality. So at one point, this theory will become true. There will be a simulation in our computer. We'll be able to run real life simulations. Like,
but how do you know? Like, sorry for cutting you off, but like, how do you know that that's not going on right now?
That's the theory. That's the theory.
Because
we don't know.
I'm gonna tell you this: military is way ahead of technology from what we know here in the world.
Yeah, of course.
Because they spend thousands of dollars on technology, to come up with the latest, most newest technology for them.
Yeah, so I'm not disagreeing.
Simulating wars, they could be simulating military gear.
Yeah.
Weapons.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. What's your point?
My point is, like, that could already be happening right now.
Yeah. Okay. What's your point? That's the theory that it's already happening. That we're in one.
No, not that we're in one, but that they're already practicing that.
Yeah. Okay.
That's my point.
Okay. What's the point though? What are you trying to accomplish with it? Are you trying to say that it's wrong, or that it's already gonna happen, or that it's already happening?
Well, I mean, I think it just might advance more in the future.
Well, no, duh, of course. Technology will always keep going. So, like I said, either three of these scenarios will happen. That human species is very likely to go extinct before reaching a post-human state. So that's saying that before we could reach the state when we could simulate another Earth or another reality, we're gonna go extinct. We're gonna fuck ourselves over. That's one of the reasons that we're not in a simulations, because we're gonna kill ourselves before we could even start it. Or two, any post-civilization is extremely unlikely to run a significant number of simulations evolutionary history. So that's basically saying that, like I said, that they're in the future, if we don't go extinct, then it's likely that we will run a simulation of the universe. That's what you're saying, that we don't know if it's already happening in the military, right? And the government. That's what that theory is saying. That we could already be running one. Or three, we are almost certainly living in a computer. So that situation 3 is that we're already in one. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Does that help clear up what I'm trying to say?
Ernesto?
I think he left. He muted himself.
Can you repeat that again?
What do you mean?
What you said.
I said a lot of stuff.
The last part, because I heard like the beginning part, but then I wasn't paying attention to the last part.
What are you doing, son?
What are you doing? What are you doing?
I was talking to my mom.
Dude, your mom's a simulation. You don't have to talk to her.
Well, it's the people up there told her to come in and disturb because we're being woke right now.
Honestly, bam. So my whole goal was to get you guys thinking about this, or at least try to convince you, or try to do like further research on this. And I've gotten you to question some stuff, like Israel. He's like, what if the government's already doing this? Like, how do we truly know that we're not in one right now? And then that was my whole goal, and I succeeded.
I didn't say all that. I just think
rewind it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you believe to the point where, okay, you know how technology is advancing really fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if technology keeps advancing at the rate that it is, we'll be able to run real life simulations in our computers, or the government will, right? So at one point, whether we like it or not, this theory will become true if we don't fuck ourselves over. That's the main argument. That at one point in our life, or one point in the life of the human race, we will start to do simulations. We will start to do the shit that's being told. That it's science fiction, but at one point, it will become true. It'll be
kind of like those VR games. How you run a simulation of doing this or doing that.
Yeah, like an example that I have personally is when I was watching when Far Cry 3 was coming out, and the developers were talking about how they were testing the game out, and then they saw something occur inside the game that wasn't scripted, that wasn't programmed in happening in the game, was where at one of the enemy outposts, a tiger just walked into the enemy base and started shooting them, and then the NPCs in the game started fighting the tiger, and then the enemy NPCs called in reinforcements, like more soldiers to come, and the noise attracted the good NPCs, which is like the people you're helping, to come and attack the outpost. Mm-hmm. And during that, the outpost got taken over by the good guys, and that wasn't scripted into the game; it just happened by itself. So thinking it in that way, that video game was already a simulation. We don't know if the NPCs had a consciousness or not, but we're already getting dangerously close to being able to run simulations of certain scenarios. dun.
To keep it short, lions are our friends. Hashtag Lion King.
Tigers,
You know?
stupid.
Tigers, lion, tomato, tomato.
They're all the same, honestly. So what do you guys think of this? Is there any questions you guys have? Like anything I could clear up for you to make you woke AF?
Make you woke. Yeah, I'm gonna wake up from like a
Like,
simulation. I'm gonna be like in a big portal of water, and I'm gonna be like, "Oh, what the fuck am I doing here? Why hasn't anybody told me?"
You're
I'm
not.
all naked and bullshit.
we wake up in a crowd chamber.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I definitely had this topic with a few other friends besides like today. Actually went into it. Um, I definitely would say I believe that we're in a simulation, but for me it's just like whatever happens happens.
You're just going with life.
I'm just going with the flow.
And she did.
If I could put one more further thing, one more evidence, and then I could wrap my stuff up, is a good way to see if we're in a simulation or not is to see if anything in our universe, in our reality, mimics a computer. Now that's solid evidence that we are in a computer, a simulation, right? So scientists were looking into space, right? And they were looking into this atom, no, into this. Shit, probably should have. I was trying to find it, but I couldn't find it anymore. There was this thing in space, like a star or something, or a certain particle was by the law of physics. This particle should have been radiating heat constantly, like it shouldn't have stopped. It shouldn't be stopping at any point, right? But when they looked into it, this particle was going on and off, turning on and turning off heat. And the best way to describe this to a computer, to see if anything in the computer does this, like anything the computer mimics, right? It was mimicking a screen, like a computer screen. So if you look at your computer screen, if you look really, really close, you can see the little red, blue, and green pixels that make up color in your monitor, right? So there is a particle in space as we speak right now that's mimicking a computer screen. Like it was mimicking those colors on our screen, saying that we were being observed, and they don't know why those particles were doing that. That was like that's all I remember it. I was trying to find it so I can speak about it more, but that's all I have on that. Like there's already some evidence out there in real life that is pointing to us being in a simulation.
Mm-hmm. Well, damn, dude. Definitely became woke today. Definitely realized that Apex is a real game. Most realistic game I came out there was definitely Fortnite. You know, out here, building, shooting. That happens, bro.
You know what? I'm kicking you out of my podcast. Oh yeah. Hold on. Let's read these. Let's read
The comments.
The comments.
Anybody has questions?
Let's see. Okay. What if animals are controlling us? Thank you. Shut up, your body. Fight me. You don't want no smoke. Think about video games. We playing video games in a video game. Honestly. Okay, first of all, why the fuck when someone puts a why does it always says NRSQUO?
Shit, I don't know. That's on your side.
That's on your side.
Wait, what? NRSQ? What?
Yeah, I don't know why it does that. Alright, but it's been 43 minutes with my
Oh my gosh.
Would you who would like to go next?
I'm gonna go next.
Go for it.
So, alright. I know most of y'all know about the John F. K. assassination. So,
No.
on November the 22nd of 1963, dozens of people in Dallas, Texas lined up in the streets to watch President John F. K. Motorcade pass by Delay Plaza. So, that was going on, right? And when he was in that parade in Dallas, somebody had assassinated John F. K. And the thing about that is they knew who the killer was, which was John. Let me find his name.
Kennedy Jr.
No.
John Teeter?
No. It's like Oliver something. Beverly.
John Oliver.
God, I should have probably wrote the name down. That's on my end. Well, anyways,
Let me search it up real quick. Keep on talking.
yeah, I was gonna say, what do y'all look it up? So
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Who?
Lee Harvey Oswald killed.
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Assassinated.
Okay, yeah,
JFK.
he's the one who assassinated John F. K. Right? Like the story goes, he got up on a building, where he could see. Huh?
Yeah. Keep going.
Yeah, he got into a building. It was a few stories high, and he set out a point where whenever the car was gonna go and pass by where the car that John F. K. was riding in, he was gonna go on by, he was gonna take the shot and then kill him, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how the story goes. But what I'm gonna be talking about is the Barachka lady.
Babushka.
Oh my god, the Babushka lady. She actually was there the whole time the assassination went on, which you would see here in the picture that we're gonna put up. She saw the assassination from like before it happened to it finishing. And the most crazy thing about it is she took pictures, she took video, and she was standing there whenever the shots went off and they shot John F. Kennedy. And the most crazy thing about it is she had a camera that was not even out yet, which here, let me go back to this article real quick. She had this camera that it wasn't even released till like a few years later, but like after the assassination had happened. And the crazy thing about it that nobody knew about it, like no one knew this lady existed, right? Because when they had went back, the FBI to look at the photos and the videos and do investigations on that site, the FBI noticed that this lady, the Babushka lady, was standing there the whole time and calm. Everybody else in the photo that you can see is running away, but she's just standing there like if nothing was gonna happen to her, which is the most odd thing out, right? So everyone else, well, not everyone else, but the FBI, my bad, decided to go look further into this case and try to like identify that lady, and they could never like identify her. So like a few years later, they finally did. Some lady came up. Some lady had 7 years. Here, let me just read this. 7 years after assassination in 1970, a former dancer and singer at the Burst Q Club named Beverly Oliver claimed to be the Babushka lady. Oliver asserted that the photograph with the assassination with her. This is the camera. Yashica Super 8 camera.
Can you send it to us?
I don't have a picture of the camera.
What do you mean?
This is an article. It doesn't.
What's it called? The camera? What's it called?
It's Yashica Super 8 camera. So it's gonna be YASHICA and then Super 8 camera. So she used that camera to take photographs of when John F. K. got assassinated, and the two FBI agents took the camera from her, and Oliver claimed that she knew about Jack Rudy, who supposedly introduced her to the suspect shooter of Lee Harvey Oswald. Saying that Oswald saying
Wait,
Oswald was a member of
this is
this.
the camera, by the way. It's on the screen now.
Oh, okay.
I think that camera looks more advanced than anything I would say they had back then.
Really? I say
Yeah, no.
I say it's what they had.
If anything, it more looks like a video camera.
Yeah, so she took photos and video of the assassination. And the thing about it is she fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. God, I forgot what I was gonna say. Anyways, if I get back to it, I'll bring it up. But I'm just gonna say this. So, yeah. Basically, Oswald was a member of the CIA, as a lot of people are claiming, and
Do you think this
they're
woman...
saying that she had connections with Oswald. So because like Oswald like knew the Russians and the Cubans and all that stuff, they thought maybe the babushka lady was an undercover like spy or an agent or some sort. Because why else would someone in a shooting, right? Even nowadays, compared to today's like school shootings and all that stuff, who's gonna stand around and act like everything's normal when you just witnessed someone got shot? Like, obviously, your first reaction is like, shoot, I gotta get the fuck out of here, right? Because I'm not trying to die. You know, who knows if I'm next to get shot?
Yeah,
you know?
but I would say some people like they're in shock. Like for example, they're in shock that they don't know what to do. Like going back to like our old podcast when we were talking about death experiences, when I told you about my mom, how she didn't understood English, but she also was in shock that she didn't know what to do. Some people may be like that too.
I mean, that's understandable. And
But to help out Israel in Israel's case, on the examples of the pictures, everybody that, of course, everybody's in shock, right? But everybody else is laying down or sitting down on the ground because someone just shot. And if you're looking at the live stream right now, the babushka lady is the only one who's standing up, besides like the police officers.
Yeah, she's just standing there, which makes it like weird.
Yeah,
but yeah, I totally get what he's saying, but I was like, most people just don't know what to do when they're like.
And like no, like I'm not saying that like that's a bad thing or like that like contradicts what I'm saying, but like, you know, like it's just a little odd that her, even like on what the other articles were saying that I had read about was that it was like a sunny day, and it was raining like early in the morning, but it had cleared up around like 10 a.m. and she was still wearing like that that little like hood that she has on top of her head. And a lot of people were saying that was a little unusual throughout that time on a sunny day, you know. But I mean, there's a lot of things that also tie into that, right? Because, you know, how do we know like it's not like a religion thing that she has going on, or you know, it has to do something with her race or something like that. You know, there's a lot of things that like, you know, tie into her wearing that. But that's what some articles were saying, that it was a little odd for her to be wearing that throughout those times, because it was a sunny day or whatever. But besides that, there's things that she was saying, because she got interviewed, right? And they had took her camera away, the FBI did, and the photos that she took on there and the videos that she recorded, she never got those back. And a lot of other people were also saying that the camera that she had, it was a model, like a pre-release model before the actual product comes out. So she might have been like testing a camera for like a company or some sort, and just happened to be there throughout that time.
Yeah, she was probably just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, but they did say that she was also tied in with the Cubans and the Russians because of her outfit. And not only that, but why did it take her so long to confront the FBI about this? because everyone else that had witnessed the shooting, they saw, and they went ahead and like talked to the police or whatever, and they gave them their their insights, right? Like their thoughts and opinions. Like, yeah, I saw a guy, over there, and he looked kind of odd, and like things were just going all over the place,
Yeah.
stuff like that. And she didn't say anything till like a few years down the line, which is crazy to think. Like, knowing that a case that was already like, I wouldn't say this is solved, but it was already like a little more handled. Uh, Someone else comes up a few years later down the line, and they come up and start saying, "Oh yeah, well, I witnessed the shooting, and I saw this, and I recorded this, and I took pictures of this." Like, now that just leaves more questions on the table to like, well, why didn't you come sooner and let us know? Why did you hold on to that for so long?
Well, I feel like, okay, there was no internet back then. There's no really way to get information unless you're out there actually looking for it. I think for me, I don't think she actually had anything to do with it. I think she was just, like Ernest said, wrong place at the wrong time. And if they're like, why didn't you come forward sooner? It's because she probably didn't know that they were looking for her. She probably didn't think it was that big of a deal until someone brought it up to her. Because back then, there's no way to actually know that you're being looked for in case you're actually looking to see if someone needs to talk to you or not. Like,
what is it? But it also doesn't really make sense if what Izzy was saying, that she was tied in with the Russians, with the Cubans.
Yeah, if she was tied in with the Russians and the Cubans, why would she stay in America?
She could just be a spy, dude.
And then,
that's the thing, that like, because the FBI couldn't identify her because they're like, how I said before, they went back and they tried identifying the woman, but they couldn't. So they just called it the babushka lady.
So they never found out her like ethnicity, right? Like her race.
No, not even that.
What the Well, yeah, it does seem kind of sketchy, and it would make sense that they would investigate her, because
if
nobody would really wear like a hood and glasses, and they're basically like trying to hide their image.
Yeah, and that's the thing on like some of these shots, like the photos that were posted on the stream. She covers her face, so you can't really say her face. And then another thing is about how I read to y'all that some lady came up at a dance club or whatever, dancing place. How that lady had claimed that she was that lady, but we can't really we can't really justify that fact because her face in the photos are really covered up.
Not really, just her glasses are covering her face.
Okay, but you can see her face, but like you can't see her whole head. You can't see her whole hair, like in her eyes, like that pays a lot of it, like
you can still tell who they are by looking at their nose or their lips, the chin.
But
like it's not that. Whoa, chill! I didn't cut you off when you were talking. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Listen!
Shut up! No. Like, it's not that hard to identify someone. Just look at the picture. Look at the shape of their nose. Look at the shape of their mouth. Look at the shape of their cheek. The shape of their chin. The shape of her jaw. You could easily see all of that.
Okay.
You could easily see all of that. You could also see her hair color. But not from the other... Yeah, but your nose doesn't fucking magically change to a different shape. You'll always have the same nose, the same chin, the same lips, and the same jaw. You could easily tell who someone is. By just
but from the photos and the technology that they had before, it was a lot harder. If we were to do one today, it would be a lot easier because of the quality of the picture.
Dude, hold on. When was JFK assassinated? 1963. How many years is that?
1963. Do the math.
I'm not in school, dude.
Just take out your calculator, bro.
Yeah, honestly.
It's only 56 years. I don't think
that's a long ass time.
Not really, because by then we already had people on the moon, dude. I don't think back then you could still tell who's someone by just looking at their nose. Like, I don't think it's that hard.
Yo, I mean, like, yeah, we had people on the moon, but we didn't have the technology to find out who people were.
Pretty sure we did.
There.
There's there's another picture of the lady's face without her in the babushka.
Oh, show it then. Post it on the stream.
I'm saving it. Come on, Israel. Your theory's coming all apart. Honestly, dude.
Nah, it's just you just don't believe in it. That's all. You don't think that
there's no solid evidence that she would be working with the Cubans or.
It's because she went to a respawn beacon.
This motherfucker. Here it is. It's on the stream.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
even
like,
then,
I mean, look. If you look at that lady, the babushka lady, and the lady right in front to the bottom right, they have the same hairstyle. It looks like they're both wearing glasses.
Okay, dude, stop trying to be sexist, dude. You're just trying to say all women look the same. Calm down.
Wait, what?
You're just being sexist, dude.
Not being sexist. All women are beautiful in every shape.
Unless they're not trying to fuck. Then if they're not trying to fuck, then they're fucking fat. They're fucking fat.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding, but I don't know. Israel, your theory doesn't really hold out that much.
I mean, I'm just saying that like she might have been like a spy or whatever, and you know, because if you got to think about it, bro. Why?
You gotta think about it,
not
bro.
only because like it's a what's it called it's something big happening at that moment, but why would she record the whole event from beginning to end?
Like Arnessa was saying, she was probably testing a product for the company that released the fucking camera. Like,
That was Israel.
No, that was you.
Well,
No, I didn't say anything about testing the product. That was Israel.
anyways,
whatever. It just doesn't make sense. Like, if you're asking why would they record a whole event, if you have a camera and there's a big event happening, because JFK coming to that town was a big ass event.
Well, obviously, yeah.
Well, of course, someone would be recording it if they have the technology to record it. Nowadays, we have the technology. Whoa! I didn't cut you off. Well, nowadays we have cameras on us, and what the fuck do we do every single time something big happens? We record the whole thing. Like on Snapchat, people record the whole concert and usually just skip it because you don't care. Honestly. But so if technology back then allowed you to record a big event, I'd record it too. I'd be recording it just like the babushka lady. Like, the theory doesn't hold up saying that she was a part of it. That's all I'm saying. There's no solid evidence.
If anything, then again, I'd be like, the FBI probably just made a mistake. She's just famous just for the sake of being famous. But I mean, I do kind of understand why they would basically prosecute her. But the thing that does make sense is she is tied, like Israel was saying, to the Cubans, the Russians, the Chinese. I don't know. That's what makes it sus, and that's what would probably.
Yeah, because she knew Oliver.
Yeah. So
she knew the guy that shot John F.K.
So just because you know someone, you should be a suspect.
Yeah, because that plays a big role.
Alright, so say I know, you know what happened recently with someone that we went to Patterson with, right? Don't say his name. He killed somebody. Does that mean I know him? Does that mean I killed the dude too?
You weren't close to him.
They were close.
We were in the same fucking school together. We were friends in elementary school.
But like the things that they said about her is that she knew the guy because like where he came from.
I know where he came from too.
And all that, and
I went to school with him.
Okay, you're just being smart and stupid.
No, I'm just saying it doesn't. Just because you know someone doesn't mean you should be a fucking suspect.
But it still plays a role because why would she come up front in a few years saying that, oh yeah, I witnessed this and I saw this and I took pictures of this and that?
Because there was an investigation of it.
No, listen. Your point doesn't really make sense with Israel, because if you think about it, the whole JFK assassination was a big thing.
Yeah.
So of course,
really
they're gonna
big
be
thing.
like, of course they're gonna be asking multiple people, not just like handful of people.
Yeah.
Like compared to like, I'm not saying that the person who got killed is not a big deal. This is more like a presidency, so when that happened, of course, it's like a nationwide thing.
Uh-huh.
So obviously they're gonna try to find the culprit and whoever was with the culprit. So they're
Yeah.
gonna dig into everything.
Yeah. So by your theory, everybody at that place was a suspect. It doesn't
No,
matter.
but not,
like
but
the
not
person.
everybody there was tied in with the Cubans and the Russians.
Yeah, but everybody's a suspect until proven innocent. And the fact that the FBI never came out and said she was actually a part of it, it means that our government looked into it, saw that it was just an internet theory shit, and was like, okay, nothing important, and just left it as that.
They probably just didn't have enough evidence on her.
They probably just figured out that it wasn't a lead and said fuck it, and just didn't go with it anymore.
But listen, it's always innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah. So she's
So
innocent.
they probably just didn't have enough evidence on her.
They probably just didn't find anything on her. It's not that they didn't have any evidence. You could always say they didn't have enough evidence on someone, even if they're guilty.
Because look, last year, Donald Trump, he released of like the rest of the files for the John F. K. assassination, but even then, he still didn't release like the full on documents due to security reasons. So if you look at the documents, they cut off at a certain point where like it ties in, it ties into the shooting and like what was going on, stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think this theory holds up that much.
Nah, I think you're just being ignorant and bold. That's all.
Ignorant and bold? How? There's not enough evidence to actually incarcerate the lady. I just think this theory doesn't really hold up. It's just being.
It's because
paranoia.
of this early here. It can't get through his thick skull. Know what I'm saying?
Honestly,
I'll say that the likeliness of this being true is like 30%. Out of
50-50.
I say it's 30%.
50-50.
I say 50-50.
I'll give you
Two against one.
I'll give
Two
you an
against
F,
one.
Israel.
Majority rules. Do you want to tell us like anything that anything else about it? Like for example, when you said they interrogated her, right?
Because she came up forward eventually a few years later. Yeah, they took her camera.
So
and
she
stuff.
went to the FBI.
Yeah.
Okay. And they took the camera, and they didn't release any of the footage that she took or anything?
From what I know, no. They never released anything that she took, and she never got her camera back. Is another thing. Because if it wasn't important, wouldn't you expect to get your stuff back, knowing it's a mistake, and oh, we fucked up. Here's your stuff back. Forget about everything that happened. You know? Wouldn't you? That's when you know someone made a mistake, because it would be like, oh, okay, they would throw everything away and this theory wouldn't exist. If this theory exists, it's because there was something that was going on there, but they never finished it, and so it just stayed in the open air.
That's the part that I don't really understand. Why wouldn't they release anything? And if it was something big and she was tied into it, why wouldn't they release to the public to show them, hey, we got the other person that was tied into it, instead of just basically pinning it down on all one dude? Why did they just make it?
Yeah, because the government doesn't want to release everything, obviously, because if they release everything, then it scares the people, and that's what they don't want to do. They don't want to scare their own people, because they're a government and they're supposed to nurture us and watch over us and making sure that we're all fine and we live our lives the way we want to live, while they take care of the big stuff. Why wouldn't they still want to tell us though? Because what secrets are they holding that they don't want to tell us?
That's true. If anything,
and that's what I'm trying to tell Giovanni, but through his thick skull, he don't believe that.
I know what you're saying. It's just I don't believe in it. If there's not enough evidence,
that's what makes it a theory, son.
I'm not saying it's not a theory. I'm saying I don't believe in it because there's not enough evidence.
You told me multiple times I can't do a theory or a conspiracy theory because it was proven true.
Yeah, that's the
The-
thing. That's why it's a theory.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying I don't
That's-
believe in the theory. I'm not saying it's not a theory.
Okay.
It's not. We don't know if this is true, right? This
Yeah,
could
that's
be
what I'm
bogus.
saying. That's what I'm
Yours could be
saying.
bogus.
That's what I'm saying. It's just to get us
Since
to
yours
see
has
it.
evidence is not true, debunk.
No, you could disagree with my theory. You could disagree with all the theories I'm going to talk about. I'm just saying that I don't believe in this theory. That's my conclusion. We can all have different conclusions. We're not the same person.
Well, or what
Agree.
is it? We
Agree.
can just say that you don't believe in it. You're just not convinced.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's not enough evidence.
Okay, but
Learn
you
how to talk.
contradict yourself right there because a theory doesn't have to have enough evidence to prove itself that that's true. Because if it was true,
There wouldn't be a
then
theory.
it's it wouldn't be a theory.
That's why I'm saying I don't believe in the theory.
It's just a game theory.
All right. I don't
Let's go
believe
on
in the theory.
fairness, though. We're just gonna leave it where it's at.
That
Go on
wasn't that good of a
fairness,
theory. I'm just saying. Gay.
though. I thought it was pretty interesting. Just because, like, the John F. K. assassination to me is probably like one of the most interesting things that happened in America. Knowing he was a great president, he was doing things.
All right. Sorry to
For
cut
our
you off,
country.
Israel. I have like 23 minutes left until I have to leave. All right, so let's move on to yours.
All right then, since I guess we're in a tight schedule, I'll try to keep brief as I can. So.
And that's all the time we have. Thank you for
fuck.
coming.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Now I know how Samuel feels. What if I were to tell you guys that every year, big name people, future presidents, CEOs, powerful politicians gathered in one area in Northern California to talk about the future of our nation? Think about that real quick.
Okay.
So
Congress, the UN.
everybody that's like a big name or has a lot of power, they gather in the place that I was reading about called Bohemian Grove, located in Rio, California. It's a private property. They started off with 100 acres in the redwoods of California, but now, as of recent, they said that they have more than 2,700 acres of private property.
This guy.
Keep going.
2,700 acres of private property, and 2 weeks in every July, big name people, like, I would say, apparently it's been shown that Donald Trump went there, Ronald Reagan went there. What the fuck?
I don't know what that was, but go ahead.
It's been shown that Ronald Reagan went there, Donald Trump went there, Richard Nixon went in there, and their main slogan is "Weaving spiders shall not come here." Or I think that's what it is. You'll mind if you can put up the picture that I showed you of the owl symbol?
Bam.
It's all like red.
There it is.
Yeah, it says "Weaving spiders come not here." So that basically means when you go in the grove, you can't talk about business or anything. But that's what I think is bullshit, because if you see big name people like Ronald Reagan, Richard Nixon, why wouldn't they talk to each other to try to get each other's help or have a good bond? But the thing is that I think is bullshit, that most of the time people that snuck in, they say it's just politicians, powerful people getting drunk for 2 weeks straight, getting naked, dressing up like women, because there was no women allowed at that time. And if you can put up the other picture
Which
that
one?
shows like a picture of women and some other
Oh, this?
symbol.
These
Yeah,
right
so
here?
if you see on the top right, those women, those are actually men that were in the grove
What the
that
hell?
dressed up as women.
Yeah, they do look like man.
Yo, is that Uncle Earl? From my...
And then the one in the left to the middle, that owl is supposed to represent knowledge, like all the knowledge that they want to know. And what is it? They always show up in their fancy cars, or some people always land there in their private jets in the closest airport. But if you actually want to attend, you can attend nowadays, but you have to pay $25,000, and you have to wait for, I think, roughly around 25 years to see if you could even get in. and you can go there today, but it's heavily guarded with police, and they always have cameras around. So if they see you driving in, they basically already have the cops calling to get you to come like get you. You'll get arrested. You get fined. Um,
How much?
it's usually like 15,000 that they find you with. But there is a way you can actually see if you can put up the other picture that looks like there was people looking into a forest and water.
Forest and water.
So,
This one.
yeah. You can't really see it, but there is a river called the Russian River that actually leads through the Bohemian Grove. You can actually go through there because that's a public area, to a public space. So if you actually go there, you can actually see that giant statue in the middle. That's actually the owl
Where?
in the middle. You see that? It looks like it's right behind a tree, next to a tree.
I guess I kind of see.
Well, okay, you can't really see it then. But let's see, what else do I have right here? Most people say that the Bohemian Grove is where the area that they came up with the Manhattan Project. For those people who don't know what the Manhattan Project is, it's the research and development undertaking during World War II that produced the first nuclear weapons, like the atom bomb. With the help of the UK and Canada, apparently they all gathered there and they came up with an idea to do that shit. Which is crazy. But also, the one guy that Giovanni was telling me about before.
Oh wait, hold on. You should have told me to put up the picture of this one. Oh, not that one. The fuck. No. This one for the statue. You're talking about the statue.
Oh yeah. I forgot I had that. Yeah, that's the statue that they all gather around on. But it's mainly at night where they do this thing called the care doll.
Yeah, what's that?
Where it's a wooden, basically, skull and bones that they put in a small casket, and every night before the Grove party starts, a bunch of people dressed up in robes and look like priests, the Pope, they all gather around and
This
they
one?
they all do the burning of the care doll. They always say, like, put all your personal, basically, feelings, anything with business related, put it in there, and then they burn it, so then they could have 2 weeks of just fun. Which, what I think is basically like just a giant frat party.
So what is that, like a sacrifice?
Yeah, basically they're sacrificing all their cares, so they don't have to worry about anything. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And apparently, I forgot what was the name of the guy, but apparently, every Republican president that's happened actually has been part of the Grove before actually becoming a nominee to run for president. And what is it? The thing that doesn't really make sense to me is that why would they keep it private if it's just like a party? You know what I mean? And if you actually want to watch a little bit of the ritual, I sent you a video, Giovanni, where they actually do the burning. Apparently, Alex Jones snuck into it
Yeah.
and recorded some of it. If you go to an hour and 37, that's when you actually see the burning happening.
This is Alex Jones, by the way.
Yeah, Alex Jones, the conspiracy guy, the one that said frogs are gay, all that stuff, and he's like, I'm kind of retarded. That.
What link did you say?
I send you a link to YouTube. If you go to like an hour and 37.
Where is the Bohemian Grove located in, though?
In Mount Rio, California. I said that in the beginning.
Honestly.
Oh, okay.
It's in the redwoods. It used to be 100 acres, but now they stretched it open to 2,700 of private property. Like, they just bought most of it so people can't get in because they always have cameras everywhere. But it's only a small portion of the camp that's actually being used. Apparently anybody with a big name could go in and reserve a little bit to talk about anything. But
So,
most of the time that people
this one right here, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you watched this whole thing?
No,
We're not
yeah,
gonna
I
watch this
did.
whole shit.
I watched this whole thing. Just go to an hour and 37
Now we're at
minutes.
37. Now we're at 30.
No, but you watched the whole thing, right?
Yeah, I watched this entire thing.
God damn.
All right. You wanna watch it now?
Yeah,
Go
just
for
put
it.
it on. You can't really see it that well, but that's when they're all basically gathering up, singing the ceremony, saying the spiders cannot come here. They get the doll, they start lighting it up on fire. They have like a giant fireworks display. But there was this one guy who snuck in the grove as well, and he said that it was just a lame party with a bunch of like pyrotechnics, people who basically professionals in fireworks and all that crap, to make it seem like they were actually doing a sacrifice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it would make sense why they would have this private club, because if the big name people, like for example, if Giovanni ever became president, but he wants to party with his friends, but he doesn't want the media to see and try to make him seem like a bad guy, he would go here because it's so secretive that nobody can really see anything. They can't catch you having fun. And one of their main rules back in the day was no women allowed. I'm not sure why. It never really says why, but as of recent, they actually let women go in and apply for a job. But women were only limited to working as giving people food and bartenders. But women need to have a specific body type in order to actually join the job. And people complained how they only paid him like a little bit, close to like $7 to $6 an hour
What the fuck?
working there. And there were lines all around the grove saying women can't pass beyond this.
Maybe they go there to do gay stuff, like to fuck each other.
They get naked and just get drunk for 2 weeks straight in July every year.
So they do
And
this every year?
They do this every year. Like people with a lot of money, politicians and everything, they do this every fucking year.
Oh, okay.
Which then again leads me to believe is not really the main worry about what people are saying is that they don't care what's happening in the grove. They care what's happening with the people in the grove, of what they're doing with that to the outside world.
What do you mean?
Like for example, you and Israel.
Whoa.
Let's say Israel. Let's say you're the president of the United States,
I
and
am.
Israel, and let's say that Israel's like it's like Fidel Castro in Cuba, and they're both chilling in there, and you guys make a bond and start talking about, oh, you want to do this, you want to do this for the country,
Yeah.
and then you leave the grove and you actually start doing your plans, and you're affecting people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what people are worried about. They want to know what are they talking about, because apparently they had pamphlets about what they talk about. They had one, I believe there was one they were talking about Afghanistan and the future of it, which kind of makes it sus.
Okay.
And what the fuck was that? I'm trying to remember. There was a woman that's been studying this for 20 years,
Uh huh.
mainly because it happened in her backyard, because she lives near the grove. And she says that she always hears them singing, preaching. Apparently, there's always cars with hookers going by.
Hey. So what? Do you think the Bohemian Grove isn't like this huge conspiracy thing? You think it's more like, oh, it's just a party for them to fuck around with, and there's nothing
Yeah,
really deeper to it?
I feel like it's more like a party, and since they're drunk, they like talking about, oh, what's going on, like with your life? What are you doing? I'm running for president and stuff. Oh, you need some help? I'll help you with this and that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically like if we gather up together, we start drinking, getting wasted, and when it's like, oh, let's start a podcast. Like, yeah, for sure. And then after the next day, we do a podcast.
Hey, whoa, origin.
Whoa. Too true, man. Too true.
That's what I think is kind of stupid. I feel like it's just a party so politicians can't get in trouble with the media.
Yeah, I believe that.
That's why when I was reading about it, Alex Jones actually snuck into it 5 times and he got kicked out.
5 times.
all those times. And the video that we just saw, apparently people hacked his computer so they could get it. But apparently the people in the Bohemian Grove threatened him, saying that we'll cut your head off, we'll kill your dog. I like how your couch looked like from the yard, and all this stuff. So he doesn't release the footage.
What
But the
the
only way
hell?
the footage got out is because people were hacking into his computer.
Quote unquote hacking it. What if he just did it?
Hacking. Probably just did. Who knows?
Did
If
it
the
for
guy goes missing, you know what happened?
He did it for the memes.
No, he's just kind of retired.
Let me be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
No, but that's most of the gist that I got of the Bohemian Grove. It's kind of crazy how big people in the United States.
Hey, no fat shaming.
Obviously, he wasn't
Powerful
talking
and
about
wealthy
fat people.
Powerful
This guy's an idiot, man.
gather up to fucking talk about shit.
Hey man, if you don't believe we're in a simulation, you're stupid. Honestly.
No, I think you're just high.
Alright. To add your theory and my theory together, what if everybody, the most powerful people actually running our simulation, gathers up in the Bohemian Grove to talk about what's gonna be the next step in the simulation?
That's what's up. I believe that 100%. Caesar, what can your theory be this convincing?
Yo, but you may never know, because women aren't allowed, because they got mad at the Mamushka lady for videotaping John F. Kennedy's assassination.
What the fuck is the mamushka lady? You mean babushka?
The babushka
Whatever.
lady, that's what he was saying. But hey,
Mamushka lady, I don't know. Just fucking.
you're wrong.
Hey, look, Bolt is in our chat. What's up, bro?
Yep.
I don't know anything about theories or conspiracy theories. Facts. Your bunny is right all the... What?
Yvonne.
On the what?
On the what?
I'm always right. I'm never wrong, honestly.
Shut up.
Well, wrong. Alright. I believe in that. Yeah, it makes sense. I think, okay, no lie. If I ever get big and famous or something in the future, I would be down to go to that. I would so be down.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same. I was
to be
just
honest,
gonna ask y'all.
Cults always interest me. Like cults is so like it's such a weird and cool concept. I was telling my girl, Priscilla, that I want one day I do want to join a cult, not to join a cult just to be like, I'm a cult, I'm gonna sacrifice all of you. I want to be in a cult to see what the experience is like. If Jin made a cult, I'll join.
No, but
Oh, wow.
the only other way to actually get in like right away is like if you're invited, like somebody who's already a member and they invite you. That's the only way you can get in right away.
Yeah, I know.
For example,
Yeah, or you have to pay a fee.
you have to pay that fee that was telling you $25,000. You have to wait for like a lot of years, so you can actually see if they accept you into the grove. And by that time, you probably might be dead. It's like, oh, you're accepted, and you get the invitation when you're at your funeral.
Wash.
Well, that'd be a little too late, don't you think? And when how your buddy was saying earlier, I mean, if he's dead, I mean, they'll just relive the life again because.
No, you won't. Once you're dead, you're dead. I never say you'll relive it. The fuck?
It's a simulation.
Hey, but if
you
it's
don't
a
ever die.
simulation, we can respawn, right?
Yeah, you don't ever die.
Oh shit, Stephen Hawking's where you at?
But what is it?
All I'm saying is I think you're ugly, Israel.
You can never go back in the grove if you get like you become a big deal. If you got caught once trying to go into the grove, you're basically banned for life.
I want to go there. I would be down to go there. Israel, let's apply to go there.
Let's apply to go there. Yeah, definitely.
You can go there by the river that I was telling you, the Russian river.
I'll just work there.
That's
I'll become a cop and then I'll be like, yeah, I want to secure only this area. Stupid ass. I'll just be security there. Stupid.
Alright, but yes. Well, I gotta get going soon, so I'm gonna have to cut it off here. Sorry about that, guys. But
do you guys have any questions of my theory?
no, I kind of asked all the questions I had. I asked stuff, but I do have to go now. I gotta go do stuff. But if I gotta say, I think my theory was better than all of you. So I'm just saying.
If anything,
China.
If anything, I was looking more forward to the theory you had in the first place. The
Ouch.
Denver airport.
Fine, I'll do the Denver airport next time.
I was actually interested in that.
Catch us next time on our next episode on Conspiracy Theories
Dragon
with
Ball
Shorten
Z.
Numbers.
No, but that's not my outro. Stick around. Maybe shut. We might have one tomorrow, or not. So if you're here, we might have one tomorrow or not. I don't know. We don't know yet. Stuff's happening.
And,
Stuff.
I mean, what do people need if they ever want to one day come in our podcast?
Hey, you should follow us on Instagram at our official page, Shortinnumbers, but there's X's in between instead of spaces. Shortinnumbers. Follow that. Looking
Post a picture of it.
Oh, okay. Hold on, let me just do this. Alright, you guys can see, right?
Oh yeah, we see the video.
Instagram.
See that cult?
Just go up here.
Beyonce concert.
You go up here and you push.
What's that?
Whoa, what are we looking at over here?
That's art. The fuck you mean? What are we looking at?
That was legitness.
This is our Instagram page. 21 followers. Yeah, right. We don't follow for follow though. We don't mess with that.
We don't mess with that.
You can follow me. You can follow me right here.
Ourselves.
You can follow me right here. Follow me here. Twitch. Let me mute this real quick. Okay, it's muted already. No, I'm just saying. And we updated our stuff right here. I don't know if you've seen this, but about us, we got a new description, our schedule. We take donations now, and any donations we do get, we'll put it right back into the podcast to improve everything. Our Instagram links. We have my Instagram, the Grizz's Instagram, Ernesto's Instagram.
That's my Twitter, you son of a bitch.
His Twitter, Grizz's Twitter. He barely uses it.
I still use it though.
And we got our boy Sammy Boy. Check him out. Yeah. Thank you for coming, and we'll see you next time. Say goodbye. Say goodbye, Ernesto.
Dragon Ball.